Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
What goals did you set for 2025? If better sleep is one, Symbiotica's Magnesium L-threonate helps you wake up refreshed. For gut health, their glutathione supports digestion and reduces bloating. Symbiotica is one of the most transparent brands out there, never compromising on quality or sourcing. Their products are free from seed oils, preservatives, toxins, and artificial additives, something you can taste and feel in every packet. Go to Symbiotica.com and use code iHeart for 20% off and free shipping. That's Symbiotica.com, code iHeart.
And so I said, fine, if you're not going to let me make change, then I don't want to leave a penny at all. I'm not doing it.
You were trying to make change for a penny, though.
The Constitution calls for all legal tender to be honored, Cecil. This is America.
Jesus.
Okay, yelling. We don't need to be...
Gentlemen!
Okay, what is it this time? What is it?
Come on, Eli. This week's episode is about Crush, Texas, and other failed publicity stunts. So, I mean, did you kill all the other podcasters again?
That's possible. You know what? I bet he like moved us onto a train track or something.
Is that what you did, Eli? Look at me. Is that what you did?
Oh, wait, because explosion. So here's what I did. I bet the studio somehow is the train now. And then he's like running us toward the podcasters, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to make a moral decision about it, right?
Yeah, that is a good one. Eli, did you do that? What Tom said?
No, guys. This needs to be epic. A train crash? A suitcase bomb? No. If we're going to start this show off right, we're going to need a full-blown disaster. And that's her now.
That's who now?
Oh, that's Tom's ex-wife.
No, is it too late for the train thing? Can we do the
2 votes?
Please, the train thing.
Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts. Because this is the internet, and that's how it works now. I'm Eli Bosnick, and I'll be desperately seeking your validation tonight. And all nights, but I'll need 4 fellows who got hugged too much or too little to join me. First up, reporting firmly from the diaper changes are for closers parenting camp, Tom and Cecil.
Okay, I'll have my diaper changed when it reaches critical mass and not a moment sooner, goddammit.
I probably would have been better off if I was raised by wolves. At least wolves aren't alcoholics. So
That's fair.
Hey, you know.
That is fair. And also joining us tonight, one of those coddled millennials that the newspapers have warned you about, Heath Enright.
Okay. Yeah, I am a coddled hetero-cis white male zennial. It's totally different. Zennial.
Now, before we begin our show tonight, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons. Patrons, it's thanks to you that we don't have a YouTube channel where we eat spicy food or do anything labeled a something challenge. You are the subaquatic bouquet that keep us from hitting rock bottom. And if you'd like to learn how to join their ranks, be sure to stick around till the end of the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Tom, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
All right. Well, the whole episode is going to be about failed publicity stunts, but it really started from a topic suggestion of Crush, Texas by our patron, Zachary Wilson Feltro.
All right. And Cecil, you picked this topic as a subtle but firm way to discourage me from trying to set that blueberry world record. Are you ready to drive the point home?
Eli, you can set any record that greatly endangers your life. Live our dreams, Eli.
See?
Live our dreams.
You get it. So, tell us, Cecil.
What blueberry record? What are you doing with the blueberries?
He already cut it all. We did a whole 20-minute recording session, and then we had to start it over again. We don't want to expose everyone to that. So, Cecil, tell us, what were some failed publicity stunts?
Well, Often the best publicity is free publicity, and companies want to be talked about. They want people discussing their product, and they would love for that to happen for much less money than a full-fledged advertising campaign. Often corporations hire PR or public relation firms to help message information about products to the public at large. They'll normally do this by getting the media to mention the product and hopefully speak favorably about it.
Yeah, or they could use the current model, which is to hire the PR services of Putin to fill up your newsfeed. That also works.
Yeah, right. So, for example, a company like Breathe Right Nasal Strips, who did not pay me to say this, might send a press release to media outlets with a recent study that says that the product is good for working out or combating sleep apnea. Then, maybe Heath, did you read the study? Then that media company,
No, I don't need to read the study.
print that story or a variation of that story, thus giving the company a chance to not only get their product name out in front of the customer eyeballs, but also convince the customer that the product is somewhat vetted.
Yeah, just to be very clear once again, turns out you can't fix sleep apnea with Band-Aid. No. But I always do wear my CPAP machine when I work out. So there's something gained.
Yeah, and a pro tip, also the CPAP machine, great on a first date. If she'll accept that, you're gold for life.
Absolutely.
You can go home alone and weepily masturbate into a CPAP.
Well, yeah, and you can get a nice breathing restriction off it if you turn it up real high. So we'll talk.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
talk.
Which setting? Doesn't matter. Later.
It's okay. We don't, not in front of them.
Do you have to tell the machine your safe word? Is that how this works?
Circuit breaker.
Alexa off is my safe.
So companies spend a lot of money to try to get good PR on their products, but sometimes they need a bit of a jolt. They need everyone talking about their product. They need to go viral. So they'll stage something outlandish enough to get media coverage and then hopefully ride that wave of publicity. This is a high stakes gamble because sometimes it pays off, like Felix Baumgartner and the Red Bull Stratos check.
Yeah, that really turned out great, actually.
Say, Bill, we gotta get people talking about this new energy drink we made.
Sure. But what can we do?
Well, we could tell everybody about how it tastes.
Like sun-bleached donkey urine, yes.
Okay, not the taste. Let's not talk about the taste. How about we tell people about how it makes you feel?
Right, yes, perfect. Red Bull, it's not a heart attack, but it's close. That's a good slogan. Okay.
Not everyone has heart problems with it, just a large...
Okay.
percentage.
How about this one? Red Bull, try not to shit yourself. That's... Put on that.
Yeah, I like it, but I see the problem. We could always make a man jump off a spaceship.
Well, what does that have to do with Red Bull?
Nothing at all.
Well, then it's perfect.
Yeah. Good.
Red Bull is fucking disgusting.
It really is.
If
It's
they
so
poisoned
bad.
all the Red Bull, the world would get better. Just poison it all.
How dare you guys? It's
It is
delicious.
so disgusting. You could smell when someone had one a half an hour ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like Axe body spray. It's good.
I have a buddy, though, who drinks this stuff mixed with Jägermeister.
Yes.
Oh, worst
Jaeger bombs. They're the
concoction
greatest. What are you guys
could
talking
possibly
about?
imagine. It's the worst.
How fast does he hit his wife?
Seriously.
I'm not
Must be
married.
a speed bag. Just
Okay, guys, here's the idea. Uppers in my left arm, downers in my right arm. We'll see who wins. Pro tip, not your heart.
and not Chris Farley.
Speedballs?
right.
Seriously, these are all terrible examples. These are all delicious.
So back to the essay. This essay is about the other times that aren't Felix Baumgartner. So before we get to Crush, Texas, let's talk about some failed publicity stunts. Let's roll back the clock to 4th century
happening?
BC.
No.
The Etruscans first introduced the art of publicity stunt when they placed their likeness on a T-shirt for the Citation Needed
I didn't expect
podcast.
this from you,
Little known
Cecil.
fact.
This hurts. That's just...
Yeah, well, Noah's not here, so somebody's got to
I'm a
do it,
little-
Tom. It's written in
I'm
the
a little
fucking
betrayed right
contract,
now.
okay? There we go.
Where's the cotton blend
So-
on that? I like a try.
But really, in the 4th century BC, in ancient Greece, a fellow by the name of, what's his name? Eli, say his name.
Hero Stratus.
No. Herostratus.
I like
decides
Herostratus. That's a baller name.
Herostratus is the guy who jumped out of the Red Bull thing. That's the
Yeah, exactly.
Herostratus decides to get his name in the pages of history. He burned down the Temple of Artemis. No one really knows a lot about the guy prior to this. He may have been a slave or an immigrant, but he was certainly someone of low social standing. He lit the temple on fire, and then he was caught, thrown on the rack, and tortured, and eventually confessed, claiming that all he wanted to do was immortalize his name.
Okay, cool. Next up, we have the PR campaign for the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. It's a fun one.
Well, see, so you know what they say. The only way to stop a bad guy with a fire is a good guy with a fire. No, wait, that's fucking stupid. I'm stupid.
Nope,
Never mind.
Next up, we have the campaign for the Notre Dame Cathedral.
So back then, they had this figured out too, or so they thought. They first executed him, and then they basically Voldemorted the guy. They forbid the mentioning of his name. They took it one step farther than Rowling, though. They made saying his name punishable by death. And then the Ephesian people did take it seriously. They didn't mention him, but the people in other cities did, and that's how we know about him. So
The head of the National Torch Association comes out with a flaming torch. From my cold, dead... What do you mean, okay? Get off me, Steve.
Cool.
Everyone stop saying okay.
Hot Dead Fingers. Don't care. Either way.
Hot Dead Fingers. It's the name of my band, by the way. Hot Dead Fingers. Playing at the Y this weekend. Really appreciate it if you guys came out.
So I don't want to bore you all with old-timey publicity stunts, so let's fast forward to the modern day. In 2005, the Snapple company was looking for some sweet, sweet world record publicity.
This was awesome.
They decided to make the world's largest popsicle. In June, in New York City. So, besides the entire event smelling like garbage, they also brought in 17 tons of frozen juice from Edison, New York.
How many people are hungry in New York?
They're so stupid.
The juice melted faster than they could assemble the thing, and, quote, the spectators fled to higher ground as firefighters hosed away the melted juice, end quote.
Wow.
Fun and true fact, 14-year-old Eli was present for that, but because he and his dad were late, they just showed up and people were hosing the sidewalks of New York and telling us to evacuate the area. And I had my first moment where I was like, maybe adults don't have it all together. I was like, yeah, there we go.
I just want to be clear. You drove from Binghamton, New York to see a popsicle.
To see a big popsicle. Also, I thought I was going to get some, and I remember being very disappointed that, like,
You wanted to eat a piece of the popsicle assembled in Times Square, New York City.
I mean, a public popsicle. That is tempting. This is like,
Wow.
they did set a world record for this. It was the first time New York streets were ever cleaned. So. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Last time New York streets were ever cleaned. So I just
What did the wind look like in their head when they thought of this, though? Like,
I don't know, man.
all right, really big popsicle. Nailed it. Who wants some iced tea?
So Mission Impossible, the movie with Tom Cruise, was released in May of 2006. So in order to get the word out about the movie and generate some hype, Paramount decided to select LA Times paper vending boxes and place a device inside of it that would play the theme when someone opened the door. But hilariously, they didn't do a great job of hiding the players. So people would walk up for a paper and see a fucking blinking box with wires on it attached to the door.
Why did they make it
paper
blink?
box?
That's just somebody fucking with you then.
The bomb squad had to detonate several boxes, and they even shot a hospital down for a bit because of this.
Should we put the countdown timer on it, like for funsies? Or what the fuck? Just
so
10
awesome.
seconds later, right after that. Hi, LAPD. This is Dave from Dave's Bowling Ball Candles. I need to cancel a scavenger hunt. Can you guys do that?
In 2007, a marketing team named Interference Inc. was hired for some guerrilla marketing to put up a bunch of signs around Boston. These were for a show on Cartoon Network called Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
wow.
The problem was that these signs were a circuit board with lights on them, a small cylinder at the bottom which held batteries, and they attached to shit with magnets. They looked like IEDs.
They sure did.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, though, I would rather deal with actual IEDs than have to watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So.
Hey,
Guess that's true.
Much rather.
I guess that's true.
He's a shake.
Well,
It's funny. It's a shake that talks.
It's not funny. It's just doing a different thing doesn't make it a funny thing.
All of my voices come from Aqua Teen Uncle Force. Both of them.
Ibid.
So they plant these IED-looking bomb things overnight, and in an email for the list of suggested locations, they chose, quote, train stations, overpasses, hip trendy areas, and high traffic visibility areas.
The Pentagon.
Okay, yeah, so basically just think of anywhere you'd plant a bomb, then plant not a bomb there. Okay, right? Good idea. Good one, guys.
So the next morning, people start to see them and they call the police. This is a quote from Wikipedia. Quote, during the preliminary investigation at the site, police found that the device shared some characteristics with improvised explosive devices. These characteristics included an identifiable power source, circuit board with exposed wiring, and electrical tape. After the initial assessment, Boston police shut down the northbound side of I-93 and parts of public transportation system, end quote.
And to see our new trailer, everybody just cut the red wire. Very exciting.
Turner Broadcasting releases a statement saying how sorry they were. And Boston and Homeland Security were like, how sorry? And Turner said, $1 million apiece sorry. And everyone hugged. And that's how it went. So, yeah.
Okay. Rough day, everybody. Moving forward, no publicity stunts that look like bombs. Hard rule. Just none of them. None
hard
of them.
rule? Okay, just question. Can I ask a question?
Sure, absolutely.
Right. I have an account with the Boston Pressure Cooker Company.
Oh, no.
How do you cancel a scavenger hunt?
No. Advertise it on Reddit. That's how you do it. So. You guys heard of LifeLock, right? That guy that posted his own social security number on the side of a billboard because his company was so good at preventing identity theft.
Identity stolen.
Well, after he posted in 2007, he was a victim of 13 cases of identity theft.
It was 13?
Challenge accepted.
Amazing.
That's what I say. A marketing agency hired to promote South Australia was not super successful. They packed some fish in fish bowls with food and sent these out with the inscription, quote, be the big fish in a small pond and come test the water, South Australia, end quote. Well, the fish died in transit, and so that didn't...
Last week, I got a pair of shoes delivered via FedEx, and the box looked like a honey badger on meth, and Viagra tried to fuck it harder than Brett Kavanaugh at a frat party, so... Not really shocked that the live fish through the mail thing didn't work out.
Less than a year after the Aurora, Colorado Batman shooting.
This is amazing.
Amazing?
Yep.
Okay.
A theater in Missouri thought it would be a good idea to hire people to dress up in tactical gear and storm in with fake weapons during a showing of Iron Man 3.
Unbelievable.
I included a picture of this in the document for the gentleman to see. Hopefully, whoever posts this will post the picture so you can see it as well.
My God.
People dialed 911 frantically, and one Army vet had a PTSD panic attack.
Jesus Christ.
They're outside. Trust me, guys. Everyone's going to love this. They run in the theater. Shit. Forgot we're in America. Oh, I forgot we're in America.
This is the only country in the world where that prank went tragically right.
And the photo of these idiots is amazing.
Really, genuinely
is. Oh, my God. It's just a bunch of sloppy rednecks from Missouri who worked at a movie theater who all clearly owned tactical riot gear for absolutely no reason, and they found a way to play dress up. Plus the one black guy who worked at the theater, too. And they were clearly like, okay, well, somebody needs to play Nick Fury. And they all looked at him. And he's just like, yeah, somebody's going to like stand their ground 40 times right in my center mass. That's, well, I'll get an eye patch.
In January 2007, a morning show called The Morning Rave on a radio station in Sacramento held a contest. They had a Hold Your Wee for a Wee contest. And it is exactly what it sounded like. People had to drink as much water as they could without pissing. The one that drank the most won. And by the way, Nintendo Wii's cost about $250.
Yeah, that's not exploitive at all. Incidentally, other contest name that was rejected was Dance for me, you fucking poverty monkey. But they didn't go with that.
Yeah, all right.
It's close.
Underwear's like $1. I'm just saying, Cecil.
Yeah. So they put these people, around 20, in a room and gave them water to drink every 15 minutes. They started with 8 ounces, and they increased the amount each time. One lady, Jennifer Strange, who came in second, is said to have drank almost 2 gallons of water. Now, if you don't know, this is actually really dangerous. Drinking too much water can dilute the sodium content in your blood, and you can die from it. It happens to about 13% of long-distance runners. Not death, but they definitely get sick from it. The radio station DJs knew this might be an issue. Quote, at one point, a caller contacted the station and informed the DJs that the contest could be dangerous and potentially fatal. The DJs responded by saying, we're aware of that, and said that the contestants had signed releases and couldn't file a lawsuit, end quote. Too bad that it was only a waiver for publicity and not for safety. So
Jesus Christ. Like the waiver is the problem. Like that's the whole thing.
All right.
The fucking sense of concern for her safety here is just palpable. Jesus Christ.
So that lady that downed 2 gallons of water, she's not feeling well. She goes home to sleep and she never wakes up. They shit can the 3 DJs and they cancel the morning show. And good, because in the recordings, you can hear them making fun of the lady, saying her stomach looks like she's 3 months pregnant.
Hey, I have an idea. What if we kill all the morning DJs? I don't mean for a stunt or anything. I just think it's a good idea. We brought them up. I'd like to say it out loud on our show.
Playing Amazing Grace at the funeral.
There was a criminal investigation, but no charges were filed. They found that, quote, it was a contest and people were saying there was no coercion, end quote.
Total exoneration. Total.
Yeah.
There were several lawsuits after the fact, though. The family filed suit for wrongful death and the DJs over wrongful termination. Seems like the same thing. Well, the DJs settled their case with the radio station after a couple years, and the family was awarded $16.6 million in the lawsuit. It was a watershed moment.
All right.
Watershed.
Well,
Got it.
so far we've got history's first
watershed.
mass shooter and a bunch of dudes who ask their stoned nephew what the kids are into these days. But after the break, old-timey America will tell those motherfuckers to hold their beer. So let's catch a breath during a little something we like to call apropos of
So
nothing.
true.
Gentlemen, welcome to every advertising agency since 2010. When we go around the room and introduce ourselves, I'm old money in a new suit. I remember when advertising was about the product, what it did or looked like. Anyway, I don't understand anything that's happened to my industry, but I'm here. I am still here.
Hey, guys. Name's Michael, but you can call me The Machine.
Absolutely not.
Not going to happen.
I will die before I do that.
Dope.
Michael.
Dope. I'm 39. I take care of my mom full time, by which I mean I live with her. She's fine. Anyway, I got hired because of my Instagram meme farts has 640 million followers, and I'm actively going to damage this workspace.
Yeah, you will. Okay, I'm Kyle.
I'm already being sued for sexual harassment, just so you know. Wanted to get
Okay.
out there.
Yeah, assumed. So, I'm Kyle. I was an econ major and just sort of expected this industry to be different, I guess. But I'm here now. And the fact that I'm young means that all of you keep agreeing with me, like I'm tapped into a secret culture or something. But I'm really just a person. And this is a tremendous amount of pressure that I would like to stop. I don't like it here.
I wrote down everything you said. It's all here now.
We should do coke together, like soon.
Okay. To the Coke.
Okay. I am Bjornjart, but you can call me Cookie. My dad was the large cash infusion that happened at the end of last quarter. So I'm here now, even though nobody's really sure what my job is. Anyway, when you first meet me, you're going to be like, oh, cool, foreign guy. Like, that'll be wacky fun, but my culture is vastly different. And I actually have really, really troubling beliefs and behaviors. So
Okay, so
I'm also being sued for sexual harassment, in case you guys are wondering.
High five, bro.
got it.
High
Okay.
five.
So our first client is Skittles. Gents, any ideas?
Oh, I got,
Skittles.
got something on my face. Right here.
Got something on my face. I love it. Yes. Sharp
What?
young guy. Isn't that great or what?
No. I was actually just pointing. I just actually have something.
Kyle, that is
my face.
dope, bro. There's like a boy and a girl, and then he's got Skittles on his face, and then she's like, eats one, and then she's got Skittles from him. She gets the Skittles.
What?
I know, right? So random.
And then she calls him and it
Let's just go with the face thing.
because he is one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ugh.
got it.
not far enough, foreign dude. Not far enough.
They're everywhere. And we're back. When we left off, Danny, the dabbing vape dog, had killed 2 people. Cecil, why doesn't old-time America show us a thing or two about blowing up?
Okay, so around the 1880s, the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad had reached the area of what would become Crush, Texas. The site today is about 15 miles north of Waco, Texas, so still a total disaster. But anyway, back then, and probably still, it was a barren wasteland, so an agent of that railroad named William George Crush conceived the idea of a planned train crash there.
What?
William had gotten the idea from a recent crash that was staged near Cleveland, also still a barren wasteland, by the way, on the Columbus and Hocking Valley Railroad line.
Okay, yeah, you got to wonder how that pitch meeting went, right?
So, there's no one here in our little town in Texas.
Well, why now?
Well, I mean, it's hot, it's arid, there's no resources, no infrastructure, absolutely nothing worthwhile to see or do. I'm assuming that's it.
Yeah, all right, but that ain't no excuse. We still got Houston.
Oh, yeah, good point. Okay. Well, we'll need something to get people excited.
Right. Well, how about we go ahead and dig ourselves a well?
Boo, nerd, boo. Next idea.
All right, well, what about if we put up a school for the childrens to learn?
No, boo, no. Strike 2, no.
Okay, let's see. We could,
Crash a train!
Yes,
Right?
let's crash a train.
We're
do
licked up today.
See, at the time, the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad was changing technology. They were moving away from a 30-ton steam engines and instead replacing these locomotives with a more powerful 60-ton steam engine.
Okay,
Well,
is
the
that changing technology or just doubling technology? Like,
I'm pretty sure it's the same technology, just making
It's
it
just
bigger.
2 trains on top of each other.
Yeah, it's just strapped one to the other.
Right? Like, I invented 2 forks to eat faster. It's double the speed of
That
eating.
does work. That's a bad example.
Well, the 30-ton engines were just gathering dust, and so George, knowing that the planned crash in Ohio was a smashing success, decided to copy the event but make it bigger.
I'm sorry, it was a smashing success for the train line? Like, people heard that their train had crashed and was like, I gotta buy a ticket and die that way. Fuck you, milkman.
Yeah, so this is what happens when Atlas Shrugged actually happens in real life. This is the market solution we're about to talk about.
America is what happens, yep.
So his plan was to stage a crash and make it free to the public. But it was in the middle of nowhere, so his clever plan was to charge $2 a ticket to get to the spectacle from anywhere
Okay.
in the state.
Please tell me there's a real train crash on the way to the fake one.
Now, $2 in 1896 was about $60 today, so it wasn't cheap to get there. But he figured people would come from far and wide to see this train wreck. And this is a thing we are literally betting on for our live show in New York City this Saturday. So
I mean,
please come.
Again, I
from
feel like
far and
that's
wide.
going to be a train wreck. So
Exactly. William Crush really did a lot to make sure that this town was ready. He had crews dig water wells. He had the Ringling Brothers Circus erect a big top-like tent. They built a platform grandstand so there could be speakers. In fact, they had 3 speaker stands.
Speakers? This is like 18 something? So like they had a guy on each train mic'd up like Monday Night Football to figure out what it sounds like inside?
I have no idea what these speakers talked about, but it was in an era where you could go 3 minutes without checking your phone, so I'm sure everyone was totally entertained.
A train leaves Houston going 50 miles an hour.
They built 2 telegraph offices. They built a special train depot. They built a Midway Plaisance that had, quote, lemonade stands, carnival games, medicine shows, cigar vendors, and other sideshows, with a construction foreman saying that the feature alone would be worth going to Crush City to see, end quote. They even built a brand spanking new city sign that said, "Welcome to Crush, Texas."
A new sign? Well, golly, I will travel right across that whole state just to see that. Yeah. New sign.
They also built a special rail line with 4 miles of track alongside the Missouri, Kansas, Texas line where the crash would take place.
There was a big argument about the name of that railroad. There was a large argument. Just pick one.
Hey. It was like the cups and the balls. Each one had its own that spun around. They didn't want to mess with the main line with some track twisting wreck or some runaway train, so they staked out an area where the trains could crash, and it was a low valley nearby. And they took 2 decommissioned trains, 35-ton Baldwin engines, and they painted them red with green trim and green with red trim.
Christmas.
They had the trains do a bit of a tour on the railway first to drum up excitement and advertise for this momentous event.
Okay, I know we're all going to make fun of this, but I just want to say, I would 100% buy tickets. I know the tickets are free. I would still buy tickets to see this right now.
Traveling around obviously worked because they had planned for a crowd of 20 to 25,000 people. They instead got 40,000.
I'm jealous.
The railroad had to run 30 extra excursion trains to the event. There were so many people, they had to get 300 constables just to maintain order. The people wanted to get right up there and see the damn trains, and there was this huge crush to get to the track. The 300 previously mentioned constables had to shove the crowd back, and the actual crash was delayed by 2 hours because of this. At 40,000, the city of Crush was, for a few hours, the second largest city in the state.
Hey, and if it went wrong, it was a great example of a problem that solved itself, right? So,
Right? Yeah. Kind of like NASCAR drivers and fans. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just works itself out in payroll. Yeah. Feels like we're about to get the original Darwin Award. Not that long after you wrote that book.
Right. So you see, ahead of time, they had figured out some safety precautions to make sure they didn't kill the 40,000 people. The engineers told the railway company that the boilers on these trains were, quote, designed to resist ruptures, and that even in a very high-speed crash, they were unlikely to explode, end quote. And I mean, if that doesn't inspire enough confidence in people to risk their lives for a momentary spectacle, I don't know what would.
Now, Johnson, what would you say the chances of this causing a massive and deadly explosion are?
Well, sir, we've run the math, and we've decided that the results are meh.
All right, you heard him. Meh. Strike up the band!
Yeah, exactly. Meh. The engineers plotted out the place where these trains would meet.
On the track, they needed engineers.
Just need engineers
to figure out where 2 trades were going to bump into each other.
Oh, everyone's math teacher showed up that day, so you all laughed at me.
Tom, they knew the y-axis. They didn't know the x-axis, okay? They had cordoned off the spectator area, and that was 200 yards from the crash site. They allowed members of the press.
That feels very small.
I know it does. Now, this gets even better. The press had a front row seat, and they were allowed within 100 yards of the crash.
What?
Much smaller. Yeah, half the distance. The trains were a locomotive and 6 boxcars each behind them. They were worried that the boxcars would become unhitched, so they fashioned the boxcars together to the locomotive with heavy chains.
Oh, cool. So they created a giant flail. Yeah, good idea.
That's exactly it. They wanted to make sure this event went off without a hitch, so they had a spare locomotive waiting in the sidelines just in case.
They also filled every 3 boxcars with rat poison and outward-facing nails because they really wanted their very own citation needed episode.
Does it say Bhopal on the side of one of those cars?
So at 5 p.m. on September 15th, 1896, after they shoved the crowd back behind the 200-yard line, they got this party started. The guy who arranged the whole thing, William George Crush, mounted his white horse and rode past, signaling that the shit was about to get real.
Okay, this guy 100% dressed up as Braveheart. Is that obvious? Like, he'll trade every day from that day till this for one chance.
They did a slow motion photo op first. They brought the trains together for a quick shot, and then they rolled to their starting positions at each end of the track.
It's like, what were they expecting? Like Thomas the fucking Tank Engine to start smack talking Percy right in front? Soon I'll be the king of Sodor, bitch. Like, what?
I love that Tom has Thomas the Tank Engine deep cuts because of his children. I've never been happier.
The engineers inside did engineer stuff to get the trains up to full steam. Then, quote, the engineers and crew aboard each train opened the steam to a prearranged setting, rode for exactly 4 turns of the drive wheels, and then jumped from the trains, end quote. They got up to 45 miles an hour before impact. Here's a snippet from the Dallas Morning News. By the way, they knew how to write papers back then. Okay, here we go. The rumble of the 2 trains, faint and far off at first, but growing nearer and more distinct with each fleeting second, was like the gathering force of a cyclone. Nearer and nearer they came, the whistles of each blowing repeatedly, and the torpedoes which had been placed on the track exploding in almost a continuous round like a rattle of musketry.
Is this the first time this guy ever heard a train?
Yeah, I don't.
Did you say torpedoes, though?
I don't know. That's what he wrote. I don't know. I don't know why he said
How are they going to know which direction they're going? Torpedoes, maybe?
They rolled down at a frightful rate of speed to within a quarter of a mile of each other. Nearer and nearer as they approached the fatal meeting place, the rumbling increased and the roaring grew louder. A crash, a sound of timbers rent and torn, and then a shower of splinters. There was just a swift instance of silence, and then, as if controlled by a single impulse, both boilers exploded simultaneously, and the air was filled with flying missiles of iron and steel, varying in size from a postage stamp to half a driving wheel, end quote.
The engineers turned to everybody. Ugh. To be fair, that was super unlikely, everybody.
Super unlikely, yeah. Super cool how they exploded at the same time, though, right?
Yeah.
Again, I want to be in that meeting. All right, so it uses steam under pressure, you see.
Mm-hmm, right, and so that steam, you see, that pressure builds up until it has the sufficient power to move hundreds of tons of steel.
Exactly, yes.
Right, so what would happen if we just, broke that thing real quick, like?
Like the steam engine broke that?
Yeah, real quick.
Probably nothing.
That was what I was thinking. Probably nothing. Good. Okay. It's a great day.
Immediately, people bolted because flying into the crowd, even at 200 yards a safe distance, were large fucking parts of the train.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call. Wait for the explosion, then outrun the shrapnel. That's good.
Yeah.
Shrapnel leaves Houston traveling at 45 miles an hour. And I'm dead.
So 2 people are smushed outright. Killing them, and then 6 others are injured from the debris. A very unlucky photographer, Jarvis Jodine, had a bolt from one of these trains fly right into his eye socket. He lived, but he had to get real good with his spare eye.
Motherfucker, the one day I switched the camera to my left eye just for funsies. Come on.
Dallas Morning News described the scene after the crash, quote, all that remained of the 2 engines and 12 cars was a smoking mass of fractured metal and kindling wood, except 1 car on the rear of each train, which had been left untouched. The engines had both been completely telescoped, and contrary to experience in such cases, instead of rising in the air from the force of the blow, were just flattened out. There was nothing about the cars big enough to save except pieces of wood, which were eagerly seized upon and carried home as souvenirs. And to that last bit,
Idiots.
I got Dave's eye.
Put down the eye bolt. Put down the eye bolt.
It's my eyeballs. I found it first.
No. I get the eye, you get the bolt.
No deal. I found them together. I keep them
Nope.
together.
Unbelievable. I paid you $2 to come from fucking Kansas. You're an asshole.
it's just a raccoon on the side. It's like, you give me the eye bolt, I could bust you out of here. Anyway. So they didn't wait until it all cooled down, and several of them rushed in to grab a little memento, and they went home with nice first and second degree burns as a remembrance of this.
Flaming wreckage, put it in your pocket.
Is there anything
amazing.
more American than, explosion, run for your lives. Ooh, a souvenir.
Wow, that was a rough looking crash. Ooh, Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s jawbone. I'm keeping this. That happened.
Still better than going through the gift shop with 4 kids, though. I'm just saying, still.
It's true.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. said that. He took the jawbone and killed his father.
So, surprise, the guy who thought of the whole thing, rode the horse, that guy fired that day.
Okay, wait, why? Did the trains not crash?
yeah, it went to plan.
That on his resume.
I can see if the trains didn't bump into each other, then that's on
missed,
him. Egg
that
on
would have
his
been
face.
amazing
Yeah.
if they're just like, get the fuck out of here. What happened?
They go right next to each other. And
both
then the
just
engineers
run out
are
of-
nodding. They're like, there's no way we predicted this shit. No way at all we predicted
Who made the
this.
second track? Did you tie 5 guys to a second track? What the fuck?
So he got fired that day, but, quote, in light of lack of negative publicity, however, he was rehired the next day and continued to work for the company until his retirement, a career spanning
wasn't any
6
negative publicity.
decades, end quote. People, of course, sued the railroad, and they settled those lawsuits. This is my favorite part, quote, with cash and lifetime rail passes. I love that you get like a pass for it. You're like, I don't have a fucking leg, but anyway, cool story.
Hey, I'm going to sue after that school shooting. Oh, you hear, get a free Glock out of it. Oh, that's great.
The guy who lost his eye got 10 grand. And even though people died and it was a horrible disaster, the company benefited enormously and got a shit ton of attention from the incident all over the world. And because we as a species never learn anything, this is from Wikipedia, quote, despite the disasters, many railroads continue to stage locomotive collisions in the following years, end quote.
There you go. Get a lifetime supply of thalidomide. No.
There you go.
Not a deal.
All right. And Cecil, if you had to summarize in one sentence what you've learned, what would it be?
Failed publicity stunts are like an oops baby. No matter what, after the fact, you have to pretend to love them. That's how it works.
Do you?
Cecil, what was the best song? I'm circling back to earlier. What was the best song those morning DJs played during the pee holding contest?
Oh, perfect.
Was it A, the kidneys are all right? B, Let It Pee, obviously.
Let It
Phenomenal.
Pee.
C, a Pearl Jam double feature, Even Flow, and Yellow Lead Bladder.
Yellow lead bladder is amazing. So good. So good.
Or was it D, Omarashi Blinded Me with Science?
Oh, excellent.
Also very good. Also, those are both really good, Heath, but you missed a really obvious one. It's secret answer D, you're in the money. So
You're in the money.
It was secret answer E, you're in the money. That was really good.
D.
I didn't
Okay.
even
there
offer
you
that.
go. It was. I know you threw it out because it was too obvious, but I had to say
No,
it.
it wasn't. I was just humoring you. It's actually wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this.
You are going to win this.
All right, Cecil. As you well know, several publicity stunts have been recommended for this show, and all have been summarily rejected. Why is that? A, because every time we try to prank you for hidden camera challenges, you challenged a producer to a duel.
He deserved it.
B, because Eli has that manuscript titled 101 Uses for Toilet Blood.
Oh,
I
God.
do. It's true.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of uses. C, because Noah wouldn't agree to eat a hot pepper on camera, citing his aversion to vegetables. So he's going to do it that way. Or D, because no matter what we tried for Heath, a train wreck was his best possible life outcome.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. I'm going to say secret answer.
nobody
Secret
would
answer
care.
E. No one is going to pay to watch you fuck oatmeal cream pies, Tom. I'm sorry.
You know what? You say that. You say that every time.
And I know you keep on trying to bill it as a cream pie for a cream pie, but we don't want to see it, okay? We just don't
you're
want to
not
see it.
everybody, and the world is bigger now. The internet has made No, someone's going to watch my
I kind
channel.
of want to see it. I don't want to be that guy, but I kind of
I don't
want
want
to
you
see
to
it.
waste any OCPs. Those are fucking delicious.
Right? Fucking
Who's
A.
got
wasting them? Are we
shorthand for
suggesting they're
oatmeal
not
cream
edible
pie?
afterwards? What-
Wasting 'em.
Yeah,
Oh,
I call them an
God.
OCP. You know me.
Something in your life means that you've needed to abbreviate oatmeal cream.
I say it a lot. I'm down with OCP. Don't be a dick.
Cecil, Noah is suspiciously missing from this episode. Why? Is it A, he didn't want to relive the pain of the crash? B, working with me has exposed him to far worse ideas for publicity. Or C, he's arranging for 2 trains to meet on stage at the pit on October 12th.
Oh, it's got to be C. 2 trains enter, no one leaves. There you go.
Is correct. Well, Heath has the quickest abbreviation for dessert, so you win this week, Heath.
Thank
you win.
you. All right, I get to pick next week. Actually, that's the live show, isn't it? That's the first live show?
Yep. Live
First
show.
show, the first live show, or the first piece. I'm going to go with Mr. No Illusions.
All right. Well, for Noah, Tom, Cecil, and Heath, I'm Eli Bosnick. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week, and by then, Noah will be an expert live on stage in New York City. Between now and then, Tom and Cecil will be frantically moving 3 backup sound systems into a hotel in New York. Heath will spend 14 hours on a note that he'll delete. Noah will interview an actual Etruscan for his essay, and I'll remember the show is happening 2 days beforehand. And if you'd like to help keep the show going, you can buy tickets for the end results in the show notes, or make a per episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod, or leave us a 5-star review. Everywhere you can, that really matters, and it only takes a second.
Not as much
and
as
if you'd
the
like to
money
get in
thing.
touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes. Be sure to check out citationpod.com. And remember, if you come to a New York live show, there's a non-zero chance we'll end up marrying you.
What?
I'm telling you, man, Bitcoin.
Please
It's
stop
Bitcoin.
talking to me.
My grandfather used to make
Bitcoin.
his workers bite through a coin for their vobroshka.
I don't even know what that is. That's terrifying.
This guy gets it.
Yeah.
I will take that Coke.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/get started. That's GREENLIGHT.com/get started.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.